Namaste. Today we are in conversation with CA Pramod Jain sir, discussing on a very important topic, that is the TDS on partners' remuneration and interest, the newly inserted section 194T.
Namaste.
So normally till now there was no TDS on partners' remuneration and interest. So is there any amendment to it?
Yes, Shreya. There is a very important amendment by the Finance Number 2 Act 2024 that now the tax is required to be deducted on the remuneration which is paid or payable to a partner and the interest.
Okay. So TDS on partners' interest, that is exempted under section 194A. So is there any change to that?
Yes, 194A subsection 2, subsection 3, it clearly gives the exceptions. And in that exception, the exception is any interest paid to a partner of a firm. And here firm includes partnership firm as well as limited liability partnership. And 194A is interest on other than on securities. TDS on interest other than securities. But now this interest is specific to the partner is specifically covered under section 194T. Hence that interest on the partner's capital is required to be deducted under section 194T, though it is exempted under 194A. So it is covered specifically here.
So now it's going to supersede.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're receiving a lot of question about the applicability. So since when is it applicable? Assessment year 25, 26, 26, 27?
Shreya, again, yes, I agree. Lot of questions have been there since past many months. But the fact is, whenever there is a procedure, it starts from that day. So TDS, whenever it is to be deducted, it is deducted from the day it is stated in the section that it is to be deducted from that day. And the section says that it would be applicable with effect from 1st April 2025. So any remuneration or interest which is due on or after 1st April 2025, on that TDS is to be deducted, tax is to be deducted. Right, so we normally talk about assessment year, but no, it is not assessment year. It has to be from the date on which the tax is required to be deducted. So it is from 1st April 25 the tax will be deducted. In common parlance, if we say assessment year 26, 27. But yes, from 1st April 25 onwards, the interest is required to be deducted. Today we are talking on 31st March 25.
Yes.
No tax is to be deducted for 24-25 financial year.
I think this is very clear now. From tomorrow, we have to look into 194T. So any basic exemption, as we have exemptions under TDS? Other sections.
Yeah, Shreya, yes, very much. Majority of the sections give some limits.
Right.
Like if I talk about rent now, it is 50,000 rupees per month now with effect from 1st April 2025. Earlier it was 2,40,000. All sections give certain 194 50,000.
Yes, professional.
Now here under 194T, the amount which is exempted is 20,000 rupees per annum. Per annum. So here one has to take care that if a partnership firm or a limited liability partnership is giving any interest or remuneration to a partner, it is required to have the TAN number, tax deduction account number. It has to have because to my knowledge there are few partnership firms where they have not taken the TAN.
But now I think everybody would be required.
It would be required. All those who are paying remuneration or interest, they would be required to obtain the TAN because the TDS provisions are required from the first day. There is no basic exemption like in proprietorship, turnover of previous year 1 crore. There is no such exemption.
Okay. And it is required to be deducted on payment basis?
No. It is required to be deducted on payment or accrual, whichever is earlier. Whichever is earlier.
So my next question to you is TDS applicable on withdrawal of capital or payment on the past remuneration or profit?
Shreya, yes, very important to understand that as we discussed that TDS is applicable on accrual or payment whichever is earlier.
Yes.
Now, if you say that I am making a withdrawal of a particular amount per month, so it can be construed that it is your remuneration only because you are having a remuneration also. So if it is a remuneration, then tax is required on the payment basis every time.
Every month.
It's a withdrawal. Now, but actually one may say that it is not a withdrawal, but it is not my remuneration, but it is a withdrawal out of my old capital or profits or remuneration on interest. But actually it would depend. It will depend upon case to case. Suppose a partner's capital account is already a debit balance, a negative balance, then it cannot be out of my old profits.
Right.
Then again, whatever is written in your agreement will also be very, very important. If your agreement or the deed says something else, because the deeds and agreements have been made few years earlier, where you have said that I am paying this much amount rupees per month, but when is that amount accruing is important.
Yes. So my whatever I'm doing should be in line with what my agreement says. Okay. So brings me to the next question. So is any change required in partnership deed or LLP agreement?
Yes. Here it again, as we discussed, my deed says, as we just said, that my deed says that a particular partner is to be paid rupees this much amount per month. So if it is that said that way, then per month it is accruing.
Right.
So your deed needs to be very carefully drafted, agreement carefully drafted, that how do we actually want, because in certain cases the working partners, they would require remuneration per month. So if you are saying that, okay, this much amount I am paying per month, then of course TDS would be required on a monthly basis. But you say my total amount is accruing at the end of the year. When my profit loss is determined, because now section 40B plays an important role, that my remuneration is dependent on my book profit. But then again I have to do, and then here there could be a question again, I would say. Now suppose a person is paying 1 lakh rupees per month as a remuneration. So total remuneration paid is 12 lakhs.
Right.
And at the end of the year, the remuneration which is allowed under 40B would be what? Say there is some disallowance and the remuneration allowable is 9 lakhs. So what happens to that 3 lakhs? There could be a mismatch. There could be a demand created by CPC. So we are hoping that some relaxation or some clarification may be given by the tax department. But otherwise, the only option which we have currently is that by the end of the year, that is March 26, when you file that return, the TDS return, there you make an adjustment to your TDS statement, a revision of that, to bring that amount equal to what is allowable under section 40B.
Okay.
So that would be required. One has to take care.
Okay. Very important point to be noted. Right. Now, if there's an LLP that has a non-resident partner, so now in that case, is TDS required when we talk about remuneration, interest, both?
Very important. There are various partnership firms and LLPs where non-residents are partners. TDS was already required under section 195.
Right. Non-resident.
So if you see, earlier also it was required, now also required, but now, earlier it was under section 195. Now there is a specific section 194T. So now it will not be required under 195, but it would be required under 194T. And that's why the department has amended my TDS statement for the non-resident 27Q also to include 194T. One may say that what would be my rate of tax on that interest portion, because interest is also covered under 115A, but there it is for the organizations on the monies or the companies or the organizations borrowed from, that the money is borrowed by the organization. In partners capital, the money is not borrowed, it is the partners capital. So if a LLP is borrowing certain money, in that case 115A TDS rate 20% would apply, otherwise 194T would apply on the capital portion, if you say capital account or current account, as you provide in your deed. So in that case 194T would be applicable. There could be lot of interesting situations case to case basis. That will come during the year, I would say.
So from 195, it was a general provision. Now we go to the specific one.
Yeah,
One.
and the TDS statement has been amended to include the TDS on non-residents partners under 194T.
Wow, this is amazing. Tried to cover as many questions that we were receiving over these months, and I'm sure this is going to be beneficial for one and all. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, and everyone, please work upon the amendment in the partnership deed LLP agreement. Not only for this, when does the remuneration accrues, also for the amendment which has been done in the Finance Number 2 Act 2024 in the increase in the remuneration from 3 lakhs 90% to 6 lakhs 90%, or in case of loss 1 lakh 50,000 to 3 lakhs. So that amendment is also required to be made in the deed or agreement. So please do those changes. Otherwise, whenever you change from that day, it would be applicable. Everything which is given in the deed, partnership deed, or the LLP agreement, from that day it would be applicable. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.